Hi, this is Dave with the Acrylic Creations. Today we're going to be doing a minimalistic swipe, and I'll explain the colors as we go along. Putting down my pillow paint now. That is Glint Essentials and Eggshell. Put a nice amount down so that I have enough to move the paint across the surface. I'm going to spread this out a little bit, and now I got a second title that I'm going to be putting what I'm going to use to transfer the swipe over. This first one is actually going to be a bloom. Okay, this is Scarab Beetle. This is a ColorArte Primary Elements paint, and it looks tan here, but it has a red interference shift. It's actually a very pretty color. All of my color layers are mixed with my pouring medium, which is made up of Vaspar Ultra and Varathane Polyurethane Triple Thick at a 3:1 ratio. Our second color is going to be Pearlescent White. This is a Josonio product, and if you can see it closer, it actually is a very, very pearl-like appearance to it. It's another beautiful paint. This is a cell activator. This is Iridescent Gold. It's from Amsterdam, and it's mixed with 3 parts Australian floetrol. And this is what makes the cells. So it's why we call the cell activator. Okay, I'm gonna blow it out, and I'm gonna blow some petals on it. It's kind of an experiment, actually. Truth is, I wanted to see how a bloom would transfer over. I'm going to pick up my scraper, and I'm going to transfer the paint on the smaller tile onto the scraper. I'm going to lay that on top of the larger canvas, or just in case this is a tile. It's a 10 by 14 inch tile. And I want to still keep the cells, but create another stretched look. I'll do it again. This is Scarab Beetle again. I'm going to take a different approach this time. The swipes, I tend to get a lot more cells with the swipes. So I'm going to go back to a typical swipe. What I'm adding to this is yellow ochre by golden, and I just put a little bit of what I call Jowa. It's Josonio varnish and a tiny little bit of water to thin it out. And it's a darker gold color that's going on top of this, but it's opaque. Okay, a little bit more of the pearlescent white. And I'll load up the back of my swiping tool, and this time I'm going to put the iridescent gold. You can that's 3 parts Australian floetrol to 1 part paint. And on top of that, once I get it spread out across the back of the tool, adding a little bit of lamp black, that's Amsterdam, mixed the same way, 3:1 Australian floetrol. Okay, and I'm going to give it a nice swipe. Now, hopefully you'll be able to see the cells are just immediately popping up. Let me give you a closer look here in just a second so you can see what it looks like. Actually got a little bit of a glimmer of the red from the Scarab Beetle, just for a second there. And I'm getting more of the cells I wanted to see with this. Okay, I already loaded the tile up again, and I'm going to do this, repeat the same process to the back of the tool and do another swipe. The only difference between this one and the last two is I added another color to this, and I'm sorry I didn't write this down. It will be down in the description below, but it's called Rich Auburn, and that's part of the ColorArte Prizm Pour collection. You'll be able to see it closer when I do the swipe. I'll give you a closer look on this. This celled up beautifully. And I added that other color because I wanted a little bit more contrast. Same process, moving the paint from the smaller tile onto the back of my scraper, and now I'm going to add it to the tile below. Okay, now it's just a matter of stretching this out and looking at what I want to see happen with the composition of the piece. One of the things I really like about doing these transfer swipes is that it allows me to control where the paint is and how it looks. A lot of fluid art, you have to kind of flow with the paint, and the paint kind of decides a lot of times where the composition is going to go. With transfer swipes, you can control the composition. What I'm doing here is I'm taking some of the paint that had already worked its way off the tile and adding it to what's on top. Okay, giving it a quick spin. This looks a lot faster than it actually is. I've got this sped up just a little bit to save time. This is a enjoyable process, but it can be time-taking. So I speed up a lot of my videos just a little bit so that you get an idea of what's going on, have an understanding how it was put together. If you have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer anything any question you might have. A lot more paint on top of this tile than I thought I had, and so it took quite a bit of work to get as much of the paint off as I could without destroying the composition that was there. Extra paint on the tile will craze or crack, and so you want to make sure you have as much off as you can manage. It's a balancing act. More than anything, that spin was just to see that I had gotten enough paint off, and I think we're getting pretty close. The reason I'm scraping my painting surface, my board that I sit it on, is so that when I spin, I don't get it all over me and everything around me. Okay, let's do a flyover. As you can see, this is very much monochromatic, and the beauty of this really is in the details. What you can't see with this is the Scarab Beetle has left a red interference. I'm going to turn on my dark light here and let you see what it looks like. They didn't really show through. If you found this video useful, I'd invite you to give it a like. It really does help with the algorithm here on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and ring the bell for notifications of future videos that I'll put out. It's my goal to put it out at least 2 per week. I want to thank you very much for coming along on this journey. Bye now.